I'm the Friendly Scoutmaster. In this video, I'm going to talk about sleeping pads. So what is a sleeping pad? A sleeping pad is what you sleep on top of when you're in your sleeping bag. So it goes between the tent floor and your sleeping bag. A sleeping pad does two things. First, it provides you with a level of insulation to insulate you from the ground. And second, it also is there to provide a level of comfort. So therefore, if you've accidentally pitched your tent on top of a rock or a twig, you won't feel it all night when you're inside your sleeping bag. So it helps you get a good night's sleep. So what should you consider when looking at buying a sleeping pad? The insulative value of the sleeping pad is one thing you really need to consider when looking at a sleeping pad. Most quality sleeping pad manufacturers assign an R value to the sleeping pad. The R value is a number. The higher the number, the R value, the more insulation it provides. The lower the R value, the less insulation provides. An important consideration when choosing a sleeping pad is how much comfort will it provide you when you're sleeping on top of it. So therefore, how thick is the sleeping pad? If you're a back sleeper and you're a youth, you probably don't need that much. If you're an adult, I'd recommend that you get a little bit more, over an inch. If you're a side sleeper, you'll need even more than that to help even out the ground and make your night's sleep very comfortable. The dimensions of your sleeping pad are also very important. Sleeping pads are designed for different purposes. If you are choosing a sleeping pad for car camping, that is, you're not carrying it very far and you have a large tent, then you might want to choose a sleeping pad with large dimensions. In other words, it might be extra wide, extra long, extra thick. If you are backpacking, you likely will want a sleeping pad that is narrower and just the length of your body. You need to consider what size tent you have and if anybody will be sharing the tent with you. So if you get too big of a sleeping pad, you may not be able to fit it in your tent, and also no one else may be able to sleep in the tent with you. Weight can also be a very important consideration when choosing your sleeping pad. If you're car camping, weight doesn't really matter that much. However, if you're backpacking, weight matters a lot. So you need to consider how much your sleeping pad weighs when choosing your sleeping pad. An important consideration is what your sleeping pad is made out of. There are two basic varieties of sleeping pads. There are foam pads and self-inflating air mattresses. Foam pads offer the user a sleeping pad that is relatively indestructible. If you punch a hole in it, nothing's going to happen to the foam sleeping pad. You need to be aware that foam sleeping pads come in two varieties. There is open and closed cell foam. You do not want open cell foam. It absorbs water and therefore also adds weight and likely will not fit back into the stuff sack. So you want a closed cell foam sleeping pad. Self-inflating air mattresses are exactly that. They're an air mattress that self-inflates. When you're camping, you likely will not have access to power, and therefore you will not be able to use an air pump to inflate your air mattress. In some cases, the ultralight models aren't really self-inflating, so you have to blow them up with your mouth. But nonetheless, that's the price you pay for getting a very, very lightweight, comfortable air mattress for ultralight backpacking. So here are some tips and tricks. If you're using a self-inflating air mattress, make sure that you bring a field repair kit. You do not want to be inconvenienced if your sleeping pad accidentally gets a hole in it and therefore it won't stay inflated. If you have a foam mattress, you don't need to worry about it. If you choose to use a self-inflating air mattress, make sure that if you're backpacking, that you put it inside of a stuff sack, and if you happen to have to carry that stuff sack on the outside of your backpack, make sure that the cord that cinches down the stuff sack is tucked inside the stuff sack. You don't want that cord to get a hold of a tree limb and damage your sleeping pad or pull it off your backpack. For some sleeping pads, air mattresses, the outside material may be noisy. So when you roll around at night, if you roll around at night, it can make a lot of noise and it could disturb your tent mate or those that are nearby in a shelter or sleeping nearby if you're cowboy camping. Another tip to getting a really great night's sleep is bring a pillow. There are some wonderful pillows out there that you just simply inflate. They're very comfortable, and those go a long way to making sure you get a good night's sleep. So what sleeping pad should you choose? If you're a youth, you might consider just using a closed-cell foam sleeping pad. It's indestructible, it's lightweight, and fairly cheap. If you're an adult, I highly recommend that you get a self-inflating air mattress. The decision from there is, are you backpacking, are you car camping, or somewhere in between? So I would recommend that you go to a quality outdoor retail store, maybe like REI, and you find a sleeping pad that will serve all of your adventures. So therefore, if backpacking is in your future, I would recommend that you find one that is light as weight as possible. It is the length of your body, and also it's the width of your shoulders. You want one that's light so that you don't have a lot of extra weight to carry around, and it stuffs into something fairly small. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you found anything in this video valuable at all, please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.